Hi, I'm talking today about how you can approach that awkward conversation with your parent about planning for their future when they've reached an age where you have started worrying about them. As adult children, I think universally we all want the same thing. For our parent, we want the best quality of life possible for them in their senior years. In order to do that, though, it's important to start the conversation early and plan ahead. As a lifestyle transitions advisor, I see all too often situations where families haven't had any conversations or done any planning, and then something unexpected happens which puts the entire family in crisis. So in order to achieve the best life possible for them, the one most important thing is to start the conversation early and plan ahead in order to avoid a crisis. And the reason you want to avoid a crisis is that decisions made under crisis almost always are suboptimal. Emotions are running high, decisions may not be rational, and choices are limited because you have less time to make those decisions. So my best piece of advice is to start the conversation early and plan ahead. And this is going to allow you to do a few things. It'll allow you to have multiple conversations where you have time to get all the family members to the table and discuss what everyone wants. And this is especially important for your parent as well. Second, it will give you time to research and really evaluate the pros and cons of each option with your parent. Third, it might give you time to talk to some friends who have gone through the same thing with their own parent and maybe get some tips from their experience. And so ultimately, it'll allow you to make a better decision because you're making it out of crisis mode. When you do have that conversation with your parent, the most typical response that you may get is one of resistance. So resistance can come from a variety of things. It could be a fear of the unknown. It could be that they're worried that this type of change could result in a loss of independence. It could be a denial of the existing circumstances and what exactly their existing challenges might be living at home. And fourthly, it might be just a feeling of being overwhelmed, them not having the first clue about how to go about making this type of transition. So in order to deal with the resistance effectively, you need to really get at the heart of what's causing the resistance. So I have some tips for how to deal with the resistance. First, really sit down and talk to them about what their concerns are. Listen to what they're scared of and tell them what your objectives are, that you're there for just to support and guide them. Second, instead of telling them what you think they should do, show them. So, for example, if you want them to be open to moving into a retirement residence, instead of telling them that, book some tours and take them around to see some. For example, if you live in Vancouver, one of the ones that you could take them to is Legacy, which is a new residence just across from Oak Ridge. Book a tour around lunchtime and stay for lunch. Seeing what these places are like will go a long way in convincing the parent that perhaps this could be better than they expected. Thirdly, do a trial stay in one of these residences. Many of them, such as Legacy, do offer trial stays in furnished suites. And so it's a good way to experience the lifestyle of living in a retirement residence without any obligation. Just convince them to pack a duffel bag and go on a mini vacation. Fourthly, if your parent is in a lucky situation that they don't have to sell their house right away, you might want to plan the move before selling the house. The perception that they have this safety cushion to fall back on might make the transition a bit easier. Lastly, if they feel overwhelmed and just don't know how to go about doing a move, which is really common for someone who's lived in a home for many, many years, don't be shy about asking for help within the family and friends or hiring help. There are lots of people who can help with this type of transition, so you don't feel like you have to do it all yourself. And the most important thing is make your parent feel like they're part of the process, that they're in control of this transition, and that you're just there to help and support them.